site that is much, much older. According to archaeologists, it dates back nearly 9,000 years. The ancient city of Baalbek.
Something is very wrong with the history of Baalbek, and engineers just proved it. By using ground-penetrating radar, they found evidence of a lost civilization that possessed technology we can barely understand. These are not just big rocks, they are masterfully engineered seismic insulators designed to last for tens of thousands of years.
We don't know why Baalbek was chosen as this specific site. It may well be some kind of special power place.
The Romans found this platform and used it, but they did not build it. If you want to see the proof of a forgotten high-tech past, you need to see what they found in the forbidden chamber beneath the ruins. The forbidden foundation that breaks every history book. Baalbek is located in Lebanon, and it is easily the most mysterious ancient site on the planet. If there was ever one place on Earth that proves a lost, advanced civilization once existed, this is it. For centuries, we have been told that the Romans were the masterminds behind these incredible structures. But the evidence sitting right beneath the surface says otherwise. The structure beneath Baalbek was never meant for humans, and now we can prove it. No human temple built by traditional ancient methods requires foundation stones weighing over 1,600 tons. Think about that for a second. That is the weight of about 800 cars stacked on top of each other. No human civilization in recorded history had the technology to move them. Even the most powerful Roman emperors never claimed credit for the foundation because they did not build it. Dr. Janine Abdelmassi, the head of Lebanon's archaeological mission, discovered what actually lies beneath those famous Roman temples. What most people don't realize is that these foundation stones are heavier than anything humans have ever documented moving. The precision exceeds modern computer-guided machinery. The engineering predates our earthquake science by thousands of years. Her question still haunts researchers today. What were they building that needed blocks our strongest cranes cannot lift? This foundation is wildly over-engineered for any human structure. It is like building a massive aircraft carrier just to use it as a platform for a small garden shed. The Romans simply built their temples on top of something they found already there. But whatever this platform was originally designed for required something far beyond the human scale. If humans did not need it, who did? Every year, thousands of tourists visit Baalbek to photograph Roman columns. They admire the Temple of Jupiter and snap pictures of ancient ruins. Roman architecture always puts the most impressive things right in the front. You walk in, and you see the biggest stones and the grandest designs. Visitors leave believing they have seen a triumph of classical civilization, but they have no idea what they are actually standing on. The tour guides know, and the archaeologists know, but nobody talks about the foundation. Because talking about the foundation opens questions nobody can answer. These stones sit on a platform that breaks every rule of ancient construction. We are talking about blocks weighing up to 1,650 tons with joints so precise you cannot slide a razor blade between them. It is a level of seismic engineering that modern architects did not even understand until the 1970s. And get this, there is zero documentation from the Romans. Not a single inscription, not one coin, nothing. The deeper researchers dig, the more one conclusion keeps demanding attention. Whoever built this was not building for human temples. They were building for something operating on a completely different scale. But here is the catch. The Romans were not exactly known for being humble or quiet about their work. The Romans arrived at Baalbek around 15 BC and called it Heliopolis, the city of the sun. Archaeological evidence suggests Baalbek existed for 6,000 to 9,000 years before the Romans even showed up. They transformed it into one of their most ambitious temple complexes. The Temple of Jupiter once had 54 columns standing 72 feet tall. Each column was made of 3 massive drum sections topped with beautiful designs. It was imperial grandeur at its finest, and at its peak, it was one of the largest religious complexes in the Roman world. Emperors spent fortunes on it, and pilgrims traveled across the empire to see it. But the foundation those temples sit on uses completely different construction techniques and a completely different scale. The engineering philosophy is totally different, and the Romans left zero records claiming they built it. Think about that. The Romans were obsessed with documentation. They carved inscriptions about every bridge, every road, and every tiny repair in every province. We know exactly who built the Colosseum and who rebuilt the Pantheon. Roman pride was legendary. Generals competed to put their names on projects. So, where are the records for moving stones 10 times heavier than anything else in Roman history? Where is the emperor taking credit for the greatest engineering feat of the ancient world? There is only a complete, deafening silence. Dr. Klaus Schmidt, who spent 23 years studying ancient construction, was very blunt about this. He pointed out that Roman tax records and even shopping lists have survived. If they had moved these stones, we would have found 50 inscriptions celebrating it by now. The silence is not a mystery, it is an answer. But the missing records are just the start of the problem. What researchers found in the Western Wall made Roman engineering look like children playing with toy blocks. Yeah, about that, the stones in the Western Wall are on a level of their own. The precision engineering of the ancient giant blocks. They call it the trilithon. These are 3 stone blocks forming the Western foundation. Each one is about 62 feet long, 14 feet high, and 12 feet deep. Let these numbers sink in. They weigh between 800 and 1,000 tons per block. To compare, the largest stones in the Great Pyramid weigh about 80 tons. Stonehenge's famous stones are around 25 tons. The blocks at the Parthenon are only 10 tons. The trilithon blocks are 10 times heavier than the pyramids and 40 times heavier than Stonehenge. And they are not just sitting on the ground. Someone lifted them 23 feet into the air and positioned them with millimeter precision. The joints between these stones are so tight you cannot even slide a piece of paper between them. There is no mortar or filler. It is just stone meeting stone with accuracy that makes modern surveyors very uncomfortable. Dr. Jean-Pierre Adam, a French archaeologist who studied Roman construction his entire career, said this is not Roman. He admitted he did not know what it was, but he knew for sure what it was not. Professor Daniel Lohmann measured the joints with laser equipment and went quiet. After 40 years of engineering experience across 3 continents, he had never seen precision like this. The tolerances were tighter than what modern engineers achieve in bridge construction using diamond-tip saws and computer guidance. Whoever did this had technology we do not know about or patience beyond anything we can imagine. Either way, it changes everything we think we know about history. It is not that simple though, because the quarry nearby holds even bigger secrets. In 2014, a German-Lebanese team was doing routine work near the ancient quarry. Their ground-penetrating radar hit something massive. Dr. Janine Abdelmassi ordered her team to dig. What they thought would take days took weeks because the stone just kept going. When they finally mapped it, nobody could speak. They were looking at a single block over 62 feet long and nearly 20 feet wide. Its weight is estimated at 1,650 tons. It is still attached to the bedrock, abandoned in the middle of being extracted. It was precision cut on 3 sides and ready to be moved, but it never was. 1,650 tons is hard to imagine. That is heavier than the Statue of Liberty or 2 space shuttles combined. It is heavier than anything humans have ever documented moving. Dr. Abdelmassi said they kept thinking their measurements were wrong, but the numbers never changed. This was the largest worked stone in human history, and nobody knew it was there. And it was not the only one. Nearby sat the famous Stone of the Pregnant Woman, another 1,000-ton block. Beneath the 2014 discovery, they found a third massive stone that was even larger. Someone had a detailed plan to move these blocks nearly a mile across uneven ground and lift them into place. And then, they just stopped. They put their tools down and walked away. What could cause an advanced civilization to abandon stones they spent years preparing? What kind of catastrophe stops work of this size so suddenly that you leave your greatest achievement in the dirt? The crazy part is, the way these stones were designed to handle disaster is actually the most advanced part of all. The high-tech evidence of a lost civilization. Let us talk about the cold, hard engineering reality of moving these stones. The largest mobile cranes today can only lift about 1,200 tons, and that is under perfect conditions on flat ground. The most powerful crane in the world in China is a massive fixed machine that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Even it would struggle with these stones. The ancient builders had no steel cables, no hydraulic systems, and no wheels that could handle this weight. Some suggest they used wooden rollers made of cedar logs. But here is the deal. An 800-ton stone would crush any wooden roller instantly. You would need thousands of logs and 40,000 people pulling in perfect sync without making a single mistake. And that is just moving them sideways. Lifting them 23 feet up and placing them with perfect accuracy is another story. Geologist Dr. Robert Schoch says the math just does not work. Physics does not allow what we are seeing if we only use the tools we think they had. Then there is the mystery of the tool marks. Dr. Gerhard Koppler spent months analyzing the surfaces. Roman tool marks are easy to spot, they have distinct chisel patterns. But the Baalbek stones show smooth, uniform surfaces that suggest abrasive cutting or wire saw technology. There are almost no marks at all, which suggests a technology that should not exist in the ancient world. But the biggest shock came from the seismic data. Lebanon is on a very active fault line. Major earthquakes have destroyed cities there for thousands of years. The Roman columns above have fallen many times. Only 6 out of 54 are still standing, and they need modern steel to stay up. But the megalithic foundation has not moved an inch. Laser scans reveal that the stones interlock using a sophisticated system that allows them to flex during an earthquake. They absorb the energy and then settle back into place. Modern engineers call this base isolation. We only started using it in the 1970s, yet someone at Baalbek was doing it thousands of years ago. The scale of this foundation is absurdly big for any known temple. The weathering on the foundation stones shows they are much older than the Roman temples on top. The data confirms that an unknown civilization with lost technology built this platform. The Romans found it and simply built their own structures on top, never understanding how it was made. Scans even show more foundation layers buried deeper underground that we have not even touched yet. Human history at this site goes back 9,000 years, long before the first Roman soldier arrived. Every civilization thought this place was sacred, calling it the city of the sun or the home of the gods. Maybe they all saw what we are finally admitting today. Something extraordinary happened here. The evidence is there for you to touch. The weights are documented, the precision is verified, and the math proves that our history books are missing a huge piece of the puzzle. We are looking at a foundation that was never meant for human temples. So, here is the deal. We are standing on the edge of a discovery that could change everything we know about our past. If these stones were not built by the Romans, then who were the architects of the ancient world? This is a mystery that is literally set in stone, and it is waiting for us to find the key. What if our entire history is built on top of a civilization we completely forgot? Are we just now rediscovering technology that was already perfected 10,000 years ago? Drop your theory in the comments and tell me what you think happened at Baalbek. If you love mysteries that defy logic, like this video and subscribe for more. We are just getting started.